Hi everybody, this is Jackie from eslactivity.org. So today I'm going to talk about how to plan an ESL reading lesson. There are a few simple steps that you can follow. So step number one is to set the context. So whatever students are reading about, you want them to be able to relate that to their normal real lives. This helps them activate their prior knowledge about that topic and makes whatever they're going to read easier to understand for them. So for example, if your reading is about maybe like a travel disaster, someone lost their wallet and then they got something stolen from them, you can ask students to talk with their partner for 1 minute about any kind of travel disaster that they had. For example, they missed the bus, their wallet was gone, they lost their passport, something like the plane was delayed, etc. And then after that, give students a pre-reading task. So there's a million different things that you can do, and check out the blog article for some more ideas and tips for that. But a couple simple things are just to pre-teach some of the vocabulary words in that reading. If there are some important words that you think that students don't know, definitely pre-teach those words. The second thing that you can do is to get students to do a prediction activity. So get students to read the headline and then they can talk for maybe 1 minute with their partner about what the article will be about. And then step number 3 is the gist reading activity. So you want students to practice reading more quickly. Reading very, very slowly, word for word for word, is not actually how people read. People skim through stuff looking for the information they want. So we want to give students some practice doing that in English in our classes. So a gist reading activity is maybe you could give students a very simple task, like answer these 3 true or false questions. You want to deal with the big picture. Or maybe like, what are the names of the 2 people in this story? Any just very, very simple question that you might want students to answer, and then give them a short amount of time to read it. 30 seconds, 1 minute, etc. Students will complain a little bit, but I force them to do it. And by the end of my class, they kind of get used to it, and it's not actually a big deal. And then students very quickly compare with their partner the answers to, say, those true or false questions, and then quickly go over them as a class. Don't dwell on them. Don't explain all the answers in detail. That will come later. All right, the next step, number 4, is the main reading task. So this is when students read for detail. I give students some comprehension questions, and of course, I let students read the questions before they do the reading. They want to know what they have to read for. This is kind of a key thing that students will have to do in, say, their TOEFL or TOEIC or IELTS exam. They'll always teach your students to read the questions first, and then I give them a few minutes to go through the reading in more detail. And then students compare their answers with a partner, and then we check answers together as a class. If there is some confusion, some difficult questions, I'll actually spend a bit of time in class going over them. All right, so the next step is a post-reading activity. So there are a ton of games and activities and things you can do after students do a reading to get the most out of it. There are a bunch of ideas, and please be sure to check the blog post for some of my best ideas for that. After that is an optional activity, homework, or review of whatever you learned in that reading or whatever you taught in that reading exercise. It kind of depends on the students, it's really up to you, but a nice homework activity to follow a reading would be to give some writing homework related to the topic. Okay, so if you like this video, please be sure to hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment below with your favorite ESL reading activity. Also be sure to check out my book, ESL Reading Activities for Teenagers and Adults. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video on how to plan an ESL reading lesson. Until next time, bye everybody.